My best self looks like, in the words of Lil Duval, I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you. I think that's my best self though. Like, really being 100% true to who I am. As long as I'm true to who I am, like, I don't gotta answer to nobody but God. So that's what it is.
It is important to exhale because exhaling is where your release lies. If you do not exhale, you do not release anything. Think of it as when you take a deep breath. You inhale and you exhale because they work together in the process of the entire situation. If you do not exhale, you're withholding what you're inhaling.
Creativity is my superpower because I create clothing with it, and it makes women feel empowered and they feel good when they look at themselves. And I feel like that is my purpose because that's something that I can control and I can create that experience for women.
Time to exhale means being able to release your best self. It means tapping into that side of you that normally you would keep bottled in. I think for a lot of us, we keep ourselves sheltered. We keep ourselves in a box because either we're afraid of who we could be or afraid of what others might think. Hey y'all, it's Kayla, the CEO and founder of Time to Exhale Networks and the host of the Time to Exhale podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm super appreciative of your support. If you don't mind, can you do me a favor? Can you like, can you share, and can you follow Time to Exhale on Instagram, on Facebook, and I believe that's all. Today, I'm super excited about the conversation that we're going to have. Today, we're talking about marriage and millennials, or millennials versus marriage. Let me say that. So today, I have an amazing cast. I have Tori, I have Courtney, and I have Chelsea. Ladies, if you don't mind, starting with Chelsea, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, my name is Chelsea. On social media, I am Naomi Ruza. I have a nonprofit organization that focuses on pouring into youth, providing resources to them so they can be winners in every situation. It's called Crowns, like the crown of your head, but it's abbreviated. But that's neither here nor there. I'm also a realtor. So, I am a resource. If you're looking for a house to lease, to invest, I am a resource. And I'm a part of this amazing cast.
Yes.
So I believe this is a divine cast. I'm excited to be here today.
Yes. Courtney.
Hello, everyone. I'm Courtney Jones, author and CEO of Courtney Encourages. I have authored 2 books so far, Predestined, which assists people find their destiny in life, and Soulmate or Soulbait, which is one of my favorites, just assisting people determine if the person they're dating is their soulmate or is it someone baiting them along.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here today for this conversation.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody.
Hey, girl.
I'm Tori. I am the CEO of Walking Tall Model Coaching. I've been modeling for a very long time, and I decided to become an instructor. I love to educate and to uplift and to help and to build confidence in others who may have a hard time finding their inner confidence. So I enjoy doing that, and I'm excited about this conversation today, too. I have some good insight. I've been in a marriage before, so I'm ready to share with you guys today, and I'm excited.
Tell us the truth about marriage.
Right. So, Courtney, your book, and I really want to talk about her book, you guys. If you haven't purchased it, here it is. It's a really great read. Courtney, what was your inspiration for writing this book?
My main inspiration was seeing how dating, marriage, relationships have all, the new definition of it has changed so much. I feel like people have become selfish and they do it for self-gain or because it's what they were told to do. And I feel like some people are going about it the wrong way, although I cannot judge or say what's right or wrong, but we can't be out here using people just to say, oh, I'm married or I've accomplished this. So yeah, that was my main inspiration, and just trying to show people like, hey, we can do this the right way, or you don't have to do it for selfish gain.
Right. So in your previous relationships, have you learned things that you included in this book? And if so, what are they?
Yes. The main thing, and I'm still learning today, and I think we all will learn throughout our whole life, is communication, or learning to comprehend opposed to just respond or only thinking one-sided. So you have to be open, especially when you're in a relationship.
And what has helped with allowing you to be able to communicate in a fluid way and be able to comprehend what the other person is saying, whether you agree or disagree, but what has helped you to just basically find that compromise in the communication?
Just life and knowing that things can't go our way all the time, and you have to be open-minded, because if not, you're kind of in this shell or this, you know how a closed fist, if you close a fist, you can't get anything in there.
Right.
And if you only think your way, that is all you're going to focus on. So you have to be open-minded and consider other people's feelings and kind of move forward like that.
Right. I agree. So one of the things that contributes, I believe, let me say that, one of the things that I believe that contributes to the failing of relationships are people's toxic traits. And one of them being the lack of being able to comprehend. But there's also several others. So Tori, what experience have you had with experiencing toxic traits, either from yourself or from others, that have contributed to the failure of relationships?
A lot of toxic traits. That's a good that you asked that, because that's a big issue. Some people are willing to look over and they're not willing to adjust, or they're like, oh, they're just like that, I'm just going to deal with it. And you just take it on, but little do you know it is toxic and it is harming you. And you don't see that you're changing, but your whole energy is changing. You have to be aware that when you're in a relationship with someone, you give off energies. So if your energy is positive and their energy is negative, then it's not going to mesh. So you become that negative person. Or it might be the other way around, you know. So you want to make sure that you analyze everything, see the red flags before they come. So one thing I could say that's toxic in a relationship, social media. I feel that it's very toxic. You didn't post me. Why you didn't post me? Because you saw that your friend, boyfriend posted her.
Right.
So it's like, well, he posted her. Why you can't post me? That's becoming a big problem, and it's so petty. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't think you should share your relationship on social media. You can share some things, but some things are best kept private. And I think social media is one of the toxic things. If somebody like, oh, you liked her picture, why? Oh, you liked his picture, why? Oh, you went out to here, you didn't answer my call, but you on here. I just feel that is one of the toxic things in a relationship, and finances is another thing. You have to be stable on your own first before you can be in a relationship with someone else. Both parties have to be financially stable in order for it to work. When there's that imbalance, then little here and there you start to nitpick on little silly things, and then the nitpicking becomes bigger. It just becomes a bigger issue rather than resolving the issue. Now you can resolve it, but you have to communicate and talk about it rather than lashing out or keeping things to yourself. Communication is another thing that the millennials have a hard time of doing, and that's why relationships are not making it, because the communication sucks. One person is thinking this, the other person is thinking this. Nobody is on the same level. One person is going in with these expectations, the other person is going in with this expectation. So you want to make sure that your expectations are the same. So communication is important. So I would say communication needs to improve. Social media has to be left out of it, and really, that.
So you actually touched on like 3 or 4 different points that I actually want to go to. The first one being the social media concept. And I believe that there's a certain social media etiquette that you have to have when you're going into a relationship, and that is a part of the communication. So for me, one of the things that I actually had to deal with in my relationship is the social media piece, because I didn't know how to navigate through that, but I had to ask the question, how serious is social media to you? And then if you're not posting me and I'm not posting you, why is that? Are you hiding me from somebody? Am I hiding you from somebody?
That's the question.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. But if you think about it, our day and age, the difference between us and the validation of our relationship and back then was that all they had to do was say, this is my girlfriend, and they have broadcasted it out to the world. And I actually watched a video about a married couple that was talking about that. It was big for them to say, this is my girlfriend. And for us, when we go on social media and we post, it's like, this is us saying to the world, this is my person. And that's a big, big step. And a lot of people, if you have not communicated those things between each other, it can be a big deal. So I definitely agree with that.
It can be, because some people really feel that they don't have to post. Like, I ran into a young woman, she's engaged to this guy, but she never posts him. But he posts her. So he's like, you know, she never posts me, but I post her, but she never posts me. But normally it's the guy that never posts me.
Right.
So it was interesting to see the flip on that.
It is.
And she just said she just likes her life to be private. Some people just like to live private lives. It's not that they're hiding you. They just like everything. They want to kind of protect it. They want to protect it because, as you can see, these celebrities, every day their relationship is in the media, and it's getting talked about, thrown, like tarnished, thrown upside down. Sometimes it's misconceptions. You see something that's not true, or somebody might write a blog that's not true, so their relationship is out there, and that's a toxic thing. And now they can't be in a normal relationship without people in their business. But a lot of the times they put it out there for everyone to see. Certain things you just don't put on social media. Don't rant. Don't talk down. Don't be upset on there, and just don't. Leave your relationship as a mystery. You want people to wonder. Like Beyonce and Jay-Z, people wonder. Yes, she did Lemonade, but people still wonder about it.
And this was years after their situation occurred.
And then to chime in, like, social media is a tool, and what capacity does each party use social media? Somebody might use social media for business. I don't mix business and personal life. Some people might use social media just as entertainment. So I'm liking people pictures, but there's no thought in it. Oh, that's a nice picture. Oh, I like that background. Oh, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, like you said, have the conversation. Because me personally, like, I say I'm not gonna post nobody on social media till I'm married. Pop up like, I said yes, you know, and we done got married already. But in the same aspect, you want to respect if that's something that your partner need and it's not something that hurts you, like, post them. But if it's something that I just don't do it, you know, people in my life, you know, people got different backgrounds. You just never know what does it mean to post somebody. Because then what if you got a crazy ex, he don't know nothing about you, you post it, and now he or she is stalking your significant other. So those are like, you have to be able to communicate that. Like, it's not that it's not that I don't want to post you, or I don't want to post you because why do people need to know my business, or I'm protecting you, or this is my business. Like, exactly. So I mean, it's like, what capacity do you use social media?
I agree. Tori, you also mentioned finances. I think, and you guys let me know what you think, when it comes to finances, I don't necessarily believe that we have to be financially stable on both ends in order to move forward, whether that be in a serious committed relationship or into a marriage. I do believe that we both need to be financially literate so that we can develop our finances together. What do you guys think?
I do agree with you to a certain extent.
Okay.
But for example, say that I'm not that financially stable, right? But my husband is. And we get this big old house, and we're living life, you know, we're having a good time, and he loses his job. And now I can't afford that big old house by myself. So now we're crunched down, crunch time. So when you can present the same or replicate the same, it's just easier. It's a flow. So if I lose my job, you have my back. If you lose your job, I have your back. It's a have your back type of thing. So you never know, somebody could get hurt, somebody could get sick. You want to make sure that on your own you can stand. You don't want to have to depend on anything. Both parties should be able to stand on their own. So that's how I feel about it. But I do get what you're saying. As you grow, yes, you can build that literacy and maybe fix each other's, you know, you might have some debt. Y'all might want to consolidate it or figure out how to write a plan down to get rid of each other's debt. So, excuse me. So, yeah, that's a good idea as well.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying.
To mix them together.
And I would say, like, you know, both of you guys do have to be stable, but I don't think finances should limit the relationship.
It shouldn't.
So you need to have the communication and have the understanding, like, look, my credit suck. I ain't
This
got
is
no
what it
money.
is.
Right.
This is
Just
what
be
it
real.
is.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Be real about
So,
it.
but don't hide it like,
Yeah.
you know, y'all doing this. You kept keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes,
and then
that's
y'all
exactly-
married,
yeah.
which I don't know how y'all got married and didn't talk about your finances.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, because this is stuff that's every day. Like, you need your finances every day. So I'm supposed to be with this person every day, and I don't know where your money coming from or what you doing or how you,
Yeah,
you know, so I
exactly.
think it's like,
communication is big.
and I think
Right.
communications in all aspects, like everything you cover, social media, finances, communication. Communication is number one.
Right.
Definitely.
And if you don't feel safe enough to admit or discuss, like, my finances suck, my finances are great, or whatever it is, then, like, what are y'all doing together?
Exactly.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the difference between dating and being in a relationship. What
Yeah.
are we trying to do?
Right.
What are you trying to do with me? Where are we
Exactly.
going? Communicate with me. What is this?
Yeah.
Are we friends? Are we dating? Are we in a
Right.
relationship? Dating and being in a relationship
Are
is
two
two
different
different things.
things.
And when guys hear the word dating, they just get so
Right.
nervous and
They
scared.
get crazy.
And so, but it's not that big of a
Interesting.
deal.
It's not.
It's just hanging out, getting to
Yeah.
know.
Exactly.
Like, when you say dating, they just like, oh, I'm not ready to be in a relationship.
Right.
Now, when
Yeah.
now when somebody say, are we exclusive? Then, okay, you know,
Yeah,
oh, wait,
exactly.
what we doing, you know? But
Exactly.
dating, like, I'm dating you and I'm dating him.
But I
Right.
think that's one of those things that has to be
Exactly.
defined because
Right.
you as a woman,
Defined.
you're okay with
Yeah.
just
Right.
dating, but another woman may feel entitled, like, no, that's my man, you're the only person
Yeah.
I'm dating, so
Right.
I'm the only person you should be dating, but it's
Right.
not always like that.
Right.
So then
it
what
has to
springs
be-
to mind when you guys think about dating? Like, what is your perspective of dating, and then what is your expectation when going into a dating relationship, I guess you would say?
I would say to date somebody is to get to know somebody, as Tori said.
Right.
But then also, like, it's just a level of respect. Like, to me, and I get so much backlash from men, because I'd be like, if you never tell me that you want to talk to me exclusively, we don't talk exclusively. And they're like, well, why? What if you need to communicate? I'm like, the man lead the way. If I communicate and I lead the way, then I'm leading the relationship, and that's just that's not the role I want to play.
Yeah.
So I feel like dating, it just has to be a respect level. Like, if you are dating, okay, what are we doing? We're dating. We're talking to other people. Great. We are having sex. Okay, we're dating. I'm having sex with other people. I'm having sex with just you. We just
You
have
have
to
to communicate
yeah,
that.
because then
What
if
is
you
it?
having sex with me and then in the morning and then you going to have sex with somebody else at night, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm always
the
having
only
sex.
one.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
that's date. Just talk. Like, dating
Right.
is just like just having a level of respect.
Right.
Whether we're talking exclusively or we're talking to multiple people. But I'm not gonna disrespect you. Like, I'm
Right.
not. If y'all all end up at the same place, what you gonna do?
Right.
I'm not talking to you no more.
Right.
Why not speak
Right.
to you? Like,
Oh, so you're just gonna ignore me?
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Or like, I'm calling you, you're not answering.
Right.
But like, we talk all day, every day. Now all of a sudden we can't talk.
Right.
It's just,
Right.
It has to definitely be defined.
it has to be defined. And I personally believe men need to define it.
I think some people are afraid. It's kind of like that, you don't want to rock the boat. So it's like if as a man, if you come out and say, oh, yeah, I'm dating 5 other people at the same time, that average woman may not like that.
Yeah.
So he may not want to rock the boat and even bring it up because he doesn't know how she's going to react.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, and that's how it is. But I'm a very honest person.
Me too.
I'm very straightforward, and that's what I expect from my
Right.
significant, whoever it is. I'm single currently, so whoever I meet,
me
I want
too.
them to be. I want them to be just as honest and open as I am. Just let me know what are we doing.
Yeah. Right.
Let's talk about that first. What do you expect from me? What do you want from me?
Yeah.
That's the main question, because if you don't get that out the way, you'll just be dating with no purpose.
Right.
Right.
And then,
You
so
just going out for nothing.
Right, and I can say from experience, I was talking to a guy and we were just dating, and then at one point he was like, "You're the only person I'm talking to," and I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, that's not the case for me right now, but since that's where we're going, let me get it together,
Yeah.
So then I got it together, and I was like, "Hey, you're the only person I'm dating." So then once that happened, it was like something shifted. So I was like, "Whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop." So I think our expectations are different. Like, and I'm trying to explain it, and then the result of that conversation was we just stopped talking.
Yeah.
But it's like, you led me to believe that this, so I got on board,
And now
things
switching it
change,
up.
and I communicate, open, being straightforward and honest, like, hey, I feel funny, what's going on, and then for it to end, it was like, okay, well, were you playing me? Like, it's just so
It's
much.
so many things you
Yeah.
ask.
Right.
Because you ask them, are you talking? And I hate when they say they're single and they're not.
Yeah.
Why lie about it?
Or
Right.
or you single, but you got a relationship last week. and you know y'all not done. You know y'all
You
played
learn
this
y'all
game.
still, yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't enter nobody else's news.
Right,
You
that's
know
so
you still,
selfish.
you know,
Oh,
it's
that's so selfish.
It's a selfish thing, and they're
Yeah.
very selfish. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Or they might be single, but they're dibbling dabbling here,
Right.
but they tell you they're not
Right.
talking to nobody.
Right, and if
but
you
you
are, I mean, like, I feel
If
like
you
a
are,
lot of
you
women,
are.
although your feelings may be hurt,
yeah.
you might not like that you're talking to other people, but they appreciate the honesty because then I know how to move.
Right.
Yeah,
Like I
appreciate
won't,
the
I won't
honesty,
press
yeah.
pause on my dating life.
Right.
I like continue to date, and then we just mix. If we
Right.
mix, we don't. If we don't, like.
So with that expectation, right? So we have this expectation of just be real and tell me from the very beginning what this is. So moving forward into the conversation, is it better for we as women to expect to have this role of honesty or role of, I guess, maturity is what we're looking for from the men in our generation, or is it best to look for that in men that are older? If that
Girl, it
makes
don't
sense.
matter how old they are, they all the
They
same.
all-
They all the
let me not
same?
say they all the same. Let me rephrase. Let me not be
Okay.
biased.
They all lack certain competencies.
They just because he's 40 doesn't
Yeah.
mean he's not gonna play you.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of girls think I need an older guy.
Right.
They're more mature. I need an
Yeah.
older.
Right.
They just, I feel like older men,
It doesn't.
they
the
learn,
age
they
doesn't
even
matter.
learned how to treat women.
Yes.
And they're in a different generation, so they understand the basis of how to treat women.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they not gonna play you. They
Right.
not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They lack communication skills.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
and
right.
I think that's what you're trying to say. Like, they're all the same. Like, you know,
Right.
I think men in general lack
Men in
communication
yeah,
skills.
men in general
Right.
just lack communication. So it doesn't matter if he's 40 or if he's 24,
Yeah.
he's gonna lack. You might meet a younger guy that is ready to just ready to give his all.
Right.
It just really depends if the man is ready.
That's
and
really
a lot of
it.
the times as women we force a man to be ready when he's not ready to commit. But we want him to be ready to commit because we're ready. So we do all these things like,
Right.
can we do this? Can we? And we pressure.
And put
pressure.
an ultimatum
Not
on him.
Really ready,
Right.
and then when you make a commitment and then he messes up, it's like, oh, you did this. Oh my
Right.
God! But he gave
wasn't
me so
ready
many
in the
signs
first.
before that
Yeah.
he wasn't ready.
He was he's half-heartedly committed.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So when do we as women know that we're ready to go into a relationship? When do you know that you're ready?
I think that's a mental thing, and it looks different for everyone. You may feel like you're ready because you only want this one person that you're dating. You may feel
Right.
you're ready because you're financially ready and you're stable and you're ready to move on to the next point in life. But it looks different for every person.
I agree.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think also just knowing that you're whole is when you're ready. Like,
Yeah.
if you know you have baggage, whether it's daddy issues, whether it's mommy issues, whether it's whatever issues you got, and you can tackle those head on, then you might be ready for a relationship.
Right.
But then if you can't admit you got issues, and now you're supposed to bring somebody else in your life,
Right.
and these are gonna, and different things that person does is gonna, oh, you
Trigger
do this,
you.
yeah.
Right.
Then I don't think you're ready, because then that puts you in an unhealthy relationship
It does.
with yourself and somebody else.
So do you think that women can find themselves while in a relationship? Do you think that that's possible? Like,
I think so.
I think it is. I think you can find yourself before, but I think you can grow in the relationship
Yeah.
and become better than you were before you got in it.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I feel like you're growing when you meet someone else. You're learning their behaviors. They're learning you.
Right.
And sometimes we meet teachers, and they're not always a guy that you're going to be with, but it's to teach you a lesson along the way.
Right.
So sometimes you might meet a guy that's just amazing, a great teacher, but that's just what it is. He might have something going on, it might not work, but he taught you something while y'all were together.
Right.
There was something that you learned from that relationship, vice versa. She taught him something while they were together, or she did this, or she was an inspiration in his life.
Right.
So it's funny how it works, but you just learn every time. You learn from each one, and then you know when you find that one person.
Right.
It's like an undeniable fact that you know that that's who you're supposed to be with.
Right.
And they know it too.
Right.
It's not a guessing game.
Right.
You know he wants you just as much as you want him. You won't have to think about it or wonder.
So I have a question, because it made me think of a question. If you meet somebody and you feel like, I do not want to live without this person, what's your next step?
You feel like you don't want to live with
Like, this person is your best friend, your
Yeah.
safe place, hold your accountability partner, you know, and like, this is your significant other, and you like, this is it. And as women, I don't believe, you know, like, not saying propose to a man or whatever, but like, do you, in that moment, do you be like, look, this is what it is. I'm gonna tell you for me. Like, I don't know what that look like, but that's what that is. Or do you continue to just explore it and let him lead? Or do you, like, I mean, at what part do you feel like, if you feel like this person is it, they're not moving on, not necessarily the speed that you want, but they're not getting it, do you communicate?
I think
Do
you
you fall
just
back?
enjoy it. I think you just sit in
enjoy
it
it.
and just enjoy it. Be
You
with
can.
them.
You can. Go ahead. You go first.
I just think at that point it becomes, whether you communicate it or not, and if they ever move to the speed that you want them to move, to you it becomes an issue.
Right.
And you can possibly find yourself becoming upset because it's like, well, I want this person, this is who I want to be with, and I will do anything for them, but they're not showing you the same, and to you it becomes frustrating. So that can weigh on the relationship.
Right.
So that can. That's a good question that you asked.
Yeah.
When you really, you finally feel like, okay, he's the one.
Yeah.
What do I do? So there's two things. You can enjoy the ride, see what he finally might say, right? You got some people that enjoy the ride and then they finally get what they want, right?
Yeah.
Then you got some people that enjoy the ride and they've been engaged for 7 years, hasn't been married yet, and had 4 kids, still not married yet.
Right.
It's all about what you want out of your life. Do you want to be married? Do you want to be in a union, or do you want to just have a family and just be a family? Because you live together.
Right.
It's just all about what you want out of it. But for me, I'm a very honest and I'm straightforward. So if I really want something, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Because that's just how I am. Now, I'll enjoy the ride for a certain extent.
Right.
But
And
if
then
I
it's
feel
like-
like it's time, like maybe he might not know how I feel all the way.
Right.
Maybe my actions aren't showing everything I want to show because I'm kind of pushed back a little bit because I don't want to move too fast, or I don't want him to think that I'm coming too strong, so I'm kind of soft with it.
Yeah.
So maybe I should tell him, a little bit about how I feel.
Right.
But most of the time, they'll come to you and tell you how they
And then
feel.
I have another question to piggyback off what you said. What if he's ready and you know you want to be with him, but you're not ready?
That is tough because
Yeah.
their feelings get hurt way harder than ours. We can accept rejection way better than they can.
Right.
We're much stronger in the
Yeah.
emotional side than they are.
Definitely.
Definitely.
So if you're not ready, the guy just has to be mentally ready to
Yeah.
hear
Right.
that. It's just a mental thing. It's just all about his personality, and what he's
But
thinking.
then what
Definitely.
about what? And I'm like, okay. So how do we get ready?
How you get
Because
ready?
what do you think in that experience?
It's
What do you think is blocking the woman from being ready? Although he has checked the boxes, he's shown up, he's the person.
I think it's just a milestone within you.
Yeah.
You'll know when you're ready.
Yeah.
It's a feeling that you'll get.
Right.
You can't like put a time on it because it's like you'll know like, okay, I've graduated from college. I have a good job, We're wanting to move in together.
Right.
Okay, I'm stable. He's stable.
Yeah.
I mean, I love him.
Yeah.
What am I waiting for? Everything's right. Everything is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes it takes time to get where you want to be. You might have a job, but it may not be what you just kind of want yet, so you're still waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
Or you might have some debt you might want to clear off because you're still waiting a little bit, like you're ready, but you just want to make sure you whole. Like you said, you have to be completely whole before you're ready, and you'll know that feeling.
So question, when do you, okay, let me not say this. My question truly is, do you feel like moving in with that person impacts the relationship positively or negatively, and then why?
I'm about to touch 2 things that I
Break
forgot
it
to
down
talk
for
about.
us.
Okay, break it down.
God is supposed to be the center
Yes.
of your relationship.
Yes.
Without that, it's not going to work.
Exactly.
Period. That was the first thing I should have said, and I feel so bad that I didn't say that
I'm
You
like,
said
we all
it now.
at
just-
the
It's
beginning
okay.
of this podcast. But God is the first. He's the center.
Yes.
He's the glue. So if we can't be in Christ together, or whatever religion that you share together,
Right.
then it's not going to work right.
Yeah.
Because you have to follow in the word.
Yeah.
Being whole is also being a part of Christ.
Yeah.
You can't just be whole without that. So
Right.
I wanted to say that
Yes,
first.
say
Right.
that.
And refresh me because I had to get that out the way really quick.
No worries.
I'm sorry.
How does moving in with your significant
yes.
other impact the relationship?
Yes. So with that being said, with God being the center, you're not supposed to move in until
Blue,
you're
there you
married.
go.
There it is.
What is it?
right
And
there.
I, ooh, like,
You're not supposed to move in until you are married.
Right.
Shacking up is never okay because now you're just giving that man the opportunity to be like, oh, I'll just push the wedding back a little longer.
Yeah.
I'm already together.
Oh, we
live
don't gotta
together.
get married.
We don't gotta get married. We already happy.
Like,
Baby, we got 3 kids. What we getting married?
Our lifestyle depends on both of us. You're not gonna kick me out.
Yes,
Right.
period. So I think it gives the relationship more substance when you live apart.
I think so too.
And then when you get that ring and you walk down that aisle during
Right.
that honeymoon, come back to a place together, the best feeling.
Right, and it allows you to look forward to something.
It-
And
yeah.
then it allows you to still, because when y'all not married, y'all together, but y'all not together. You're still
Right.
single. in a
Right.
sense. And it allows you to be single and
Right.
still enjoy this person.
Right.
Whereas if y'all live together and you get tired of them or her, like
And
it's
then-
like,
yeah, and then if you don't have to live together, you can spend the night sometimes with each other
Y'all
and
can
get to
play.
know each other's
Yeah.
habits
Right.
and how each other, you want to see his house clean, her house clean,
Right.
however you want to do it.
Right.
You can do that,
Right.
but you don't have to live together yet. I
Right.
think living together should come after you are married. I did not do that, so I am a witness. You know, it wasn't all bad, you know what I'm saying? But I should have gotten married first before I lived with someone. I think it would have been better, and we could have grew better learning together at that point. And we were super young.
Yeah.
So that plays a role too. You're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Don't commit to something you're not
and I
ready
think
for.
it also puts a stressor on the relationship.
It
Because then it's
Because now
like,
you feel obligated to do
go,
stuff.
and then you
Right.
feel obligated to
you're
go
playing
home.
a wife role.
Right.
You're a
Right.
girlfriend.
You're playing a
and you a
husband
barely
role.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
And vice versa, you playing a husband role,
Yeah.
and you're
Right.
not the husband. You
Right.
you're a barely boyfriend.
Right,
Like,
and y'all are like,
Yeah.
young, like most of the time it's young. I mean, older people do it too, but you're young. Like,
Right.
imagine wanting to go do something. I gotta go pay my more. I gotta pay the bills. I gotta make sure she okay. I gotta make sure he okay.
I can't be home.
Right. I think it builds up resentment that you might not see until 15 years later, where you
Definitely.
like, look at what I didn't do,
Right.
because I'm here with you.
Right.
Like, you know, like,
And some people
that's
don't give
speaking
their,
from experience.
Some people don't give that breathing time. Either.
Yeah.
Up under all the time.
Yeah,
Give
and that
yourself
drains
that
me.
breathing
Yeah,
room.
let that man breathe.
Go
Right.
get some lunch with your girlfriend.
Right.
Go get some lunch
Go
with your guy
out.
friends.
Go to happy
out.
hour.
Right.
Don't be out till 6 in the morning.
Right. Don't be
Right.
disrespectful.
Don't be disrespectful
Right.
when you
Yes.
go out.
Right.
Go out.
Have
Don't
fun,
enjoy
enjoy
life.
yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and I just think it's just because I feel like when you get married and you become that union, it becomes y'all. So
Right.
it's no longer about you.
Right.
So enjoy your about you time, because if you're doing at 24, you give that time up.
Yeah.
At 44, where you at?
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. That's true.
Wow. So just to close off, I read a post recently and I shared it. I probably saw it. But it said, God said for us to submit to our husband, not to a boyfriend. And I think for a lot of us, what we've done is we've submitted to a boyfriend, having these great expectations, and then when he doesn't come through, our whole world comes crashing down because we made him our whole world, as opposed to enjoying ourselves, enjoying technically what is still considered our singleness, singlehood, and just enjoy that person in our lives and then move forward, because it's going to come. That marriage, it's going to come. The committed relationship that you want, it's going to come.
Right.
So just wait for it, relax, be cool, and go with the flow. Y'all agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this conversation. There will be a part 2. This time it'll be with men. So we're going to get their perspective on marriage, their perspective on dating, and their expectations of women when doing so. Y'all tune in. Don't forget to like, share, and follow us at Time to Exhale Networks on Instagram and time2exhale.tte on Facebook. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Are y'all cute?